Welcome to Dominoes, Dice, and Decks, how to support math at home by playing games. If you were to ask your child to sit down and do math homework, how would your child respond? Would there be pushback? Would your child complain, argue, cry, or completely shut down? Or would your child start but then become mired in frustration? Many children, and adults, strongly dislike math. They may feel like math is boring or too hard, or that they're just not good at it. This doesn't have to happen. There are ways to practice math skills and have fun at the same time. Families can support math skills at home by playing games. The following presentation will model a few games you can play at home to strengthen math skills using dominoes, dice, or a deck of cards. A fun math game typically has set rules, goals, and competition, either against other players or against yourself. Clear rules and goals are important because they let kids know exactly what to do. Competition is important because it gives kids a challenge. The best math games have just the right level of challenge. Kids have to choose and use strategies as they play, and they have to problem solve and make decisions. Kids have a chance to win, but it's not guaranteed, which makes things fun and exciting. But while math games are fun, they're best for reviewing and practicing skills, not teaching new ones. To teach new things, teachers use specific strategies and spend a lot of time explaining the concept, but they might use a game to help review or practice skills that have already been taught, such as math facts and computation. The following activities will show a few games you can play at home to strengthen math skills using dominoes, dice, or a deck of cards. Most of these activities, and many, many more, can be found in the booklet Dominoes, Dice, and Decks, which was provided by your child's school or can be downloaded at the following web address. Our first game is called CLOCKOMINOES. CLOCKOMINOES is an easy way to practice number recognition and simple addition with younger students. Make a clock shape with numbers 1 through 12 as shown here, and start with all the dominoes shuffled and upside down. The first player draws a domino, adds up all of the dots, and places it in the correct number on the clock. Player 2 takes their turn following the same procedure. If a player draws a domino that has already been filled in on the clock, stack it on top of the domino that's there. The double blank can be used as a wild number and placed anywhere on the clock. The player who completes the clock face is the winner. This game can be found on page 3 of Dominoes, Dice, and Decks. Domino War is a fun way to practice addition and multiplication fact fluency. It can be played with 2 to 4 players when using a standard domino set, and is even more fun when played with 4 to 6 players in a double 9 or double 12 domino set. Start with all of the dominoes shuffled and upside down. Take turns drawing one domino at a time from the pile until they are evenly distributed. Discard any extra dominoes so that each player has the same amount of dominoes in their hand. In Domino War, each player can see their own dominoes, but not the dominoes of the other players. The game is played in hands or rounds. For each round, the first player selects one domino to play into the center of the table and says the product of the dots on each end of the domino multiplied together. This continues until all players have played one domino. The winner of the hand is the person whose product is the greatest. They will then collect the stack of dominoes and put it in their win pile. The hand winner gets to start the next round by selecting a domino and putting it into the center, saying the product. Play continues in a clockwise manner. This continues until all hands have been played. At that time, the winner of the game is the person who has collected the most hands. Our next game, Build the Biggest, allows children to practice using understanding of place value and number sense while also learning to think strategically. The purpose of the game is to create the biggest number possible, one digit at a time. This game can have any number of people, but for modeling purposes, we will use 2. Each player draws a game board like the one shown on scratch paper. Each player rolls a dice and decides where to write that digit on their game board. Once placed, a digit cannot be moved. The throwaway box allows the player to throw out one digit they do not want to use in their number. After all numbers have been filled in, the players read the numbers they created aloud. The player with the biggest number wins the round. This game can be adapted for different age children by changing the number of digits, adding a decimal point, or allowing players to swap any two digits, or even by building the smallest number. Our next game is called Blockout. Blockout is a fun dice game to practice multiplication facts using arrays and finding area. This game is suitable for 2 or more players, each with a different colored pen or pencil. You will need 2 dice and a piece of graph paper, or you can create your own graph paper with a ruler and a pencil. Player 1 rolls the dice. Player 1 colors an array on the grid anywhere that they choose. In this case, a 4x2 array, or 8. Player 2 rolls the dice next and colors an array as shown on the dice anywhere on the grid. The play continues as players roll and color arrays on the grid. This game encourages players to think strategically about where to place their arrays in order to block other players. The game ends when a player rolls an array that cannot be placed on the grid. When this happens, players count up the area of the arrays they have made and add them together. The person with the highest total wins. The next game is called the Pyramid Game. This pyramid game supports students in reviewing addition facts, also called number bonds, that make 10. In this solo player game, all picture cards are equal to 10 and aces are equal to 1. The aim of the game is to remove as many number bonds that equal 10 as possible. Shuffle the cards and lay out the top 15 cards face up as shown. The remaining cards are kept face up in a stack called the draw pile. Look for pairs of cards in the pyramid or the top card of the pile that can make 10. Remove these cards from the pyramid or pile and place them on the side in a discard pile. When no more pairs can be made, move the top card of the draw pile to expose a new card. Continue to make and remove cards that make 10. Changing the draw card as needed. The game is over when no more 10s can be made. The next game is called Number Battle. Number Battle is a math fact card game played similar to War. Although the example here is for reviewing basic subtraction facts, the Dominoes Dice and Decks booklet provides instructions for many different versions of Number Battle, such as addition, multiplication, advanced addition, subtraction, or multiplication, place value, decimals, fractions, or even integers. For this basic version of subtraction number battle, all face cards have a value of 10 and aces have a value of 1. Start by shuffling all cards and dealing them evenly face down. At the same time, each player turns over the top 2 cards of their deck. Each player finds the difference in their 2 cards by subtracting the smallest value from the largest value. The player with the largest difference wins the hand and places all the cards face down in a win pile. Play continues in this manner. If the cards each player turns over have the same difference, both players draw 2 more cards. The person who wins this hand takes all of the cards that are shown face up. Play continues until all cards have been played. At that point, the winner is the person with the largest win stack. Most of the activities we've modeled here, and many, many more, can be found in the booklet Dominoes, Dice, and Decks, which can be downloaded at the website shown here. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation on how to practice math at home using dominoes, dice, and decks. Thank you.